All right, on this episode of Bouts Talking Bouts, we've got quite the fight going at BTC 14 Clash, which goes down on March 5th. We have a welterweight bout between Joel dos Santos and Scott Hudson, and always great getting to talk to Scott. How are you feeling ahead of this one, man? Bit of a switch in the weight division and getting to compete. I imagine you're happy about that.
Yeah, man, it's great. Like going back up to welterweight, so it's nice to not have to cut as much weight. It's nice, man. You know, getting to the end of camp, it's a little bit of a grind. So I'm lucky. I'm hoping to, or I'm looking forward to just finishing up. Have my last sparring day today, and and kind of put it in cruise control now and just show up healthy for the fight.
Yeah, and how do you go about navigating the fight week there? So, I mean, obviously, like you said, last sparring day and everything like that. Is it just a lot of recuperation-minded kind of stuff the week leading to the fight for you, or how do you do all that there?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry about that, man. Somebody called me and my Bluetooth just cut off it muted my speaker. Did you get the first part?
Oh no, I missed the first part there. Sorry.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying, is the fight week for you more like recuperation, kind of tapering off, just getting ready for the fight? Like, what's the fight week look like?
Yeah, so because I'm fighting at welterweight, I can actually start to taper a little bit early and just kind of, stay loose, stay sharp. The hard work is done. Just kind of take care of any lingering injuries and, just be ready. But yeah, I'm not really going to do too much between now and the fight. I think I'm 10 days out. I've got a couple training sessions tomorrow, a couple training sessions on Friday, and then it's just smooth sailing, staying loose, staying sharp.
Yeah, and I was just happy to see you have a fight lined up in relative close proximity to everything that happened there with the super last minute cancellation. That was just such a disappointing thing for a lot of people there, but super happy when I saw the announcement of you getting to be able to get out there and compete. Is there a level of relief you feel with the excitement at all? How would you characterize the feeling here?
It was when the fight got canceled, it was a big kick in the nuts. It was brutal. That whole situation was terrible, and I'm glad to put it behind me. But I took a little bit of time off, enjoyed my Christmas, and then jumped right back into training. And I knew, even though the fight announcement came out not relatively that long ago, I think they only did it on 3 or 4 weeks notice, but I kind of was getting ready for a potential opponent of some sort. We hadn't locked anything in until July.
Yeah, and cool to see you competing under the BTC banner again, just because it was a promotion you've held gold in and everything like that. So it must be cool to be back in the picture, and especially so in such a rich, town in MMA history in London, Ontario.
Yeah, I fought in London before. I actually really like fighting in London. They really have good crowds for their fights. They really support a lot of their local fighters, and I think that they have such legendary fighters that come from there. And I think that it's I don't know. It's kind of just a hard town, and there's a lot that. Obviously, adrenaline produces a lot of good fighters, and I think that the people there are well schooled because of the Mark Hominiks and the Sam Stouts and whatnot.
Yeah, and you segued kind of into the next question there, just, having fought in London previously there. I mean, can we see the hair come back at some point? It seemed like you had some pretty rare hair when you were, getting that big KO in the Insta video.
Yeah, sadly, that hair is gone forever, and it's not my choice. It's Mother Nature.
So you'd be rocking it if you...
The answer is no. I friggin' wish, but those days are over, man.
Oh, well, you can still rock the look. I mean, they call you handsome Scott Hudson for a reason, so it seems like you're doing all right.
Yeah, that's only going to take me so far, though. I'm getting uglier by the day.
But yeah, you were talking about how today's the last sparring day and stuff like that there, and it seems like Aegis MMA is such an awesome gym culture in a lot of regards. Were you still working with a lot of the usual suspects, Kyran, Cameron, Bobby Poulter, guys like that?
Yeah, so those are my two main guys. And we had Adam DeFreitas in there today, and obviously, like, I'm going to Niagara Top Team quite a bit and training with all those guys, and we kind of cross train with each other on a weekly basis. So it's good. We got a good thing going. Good team, strong team right now.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a lot of just like the high level Southern Ontario fighters just having a level of like training in the different spaces too. Like it seems like the Niagara Top Team guys mix it in there a fair bit. It just seems like such a great culture for MMA fighters and just how they're interacting and trading skills and whatnot.
Yeah, and the coaches do a really good job of like making that happen for us. Like Chris Prickett at Niagara always has like an open door policy for our guys. Same with their guys over at Aegis, and it's a good thing that's been built for years, and we get really good work in. And there's no bullshit between us. Like there's a lot of politics in the sport, but I can't really speak on it that much because I don't really experience it because I'm not in that environment. Everybody's super welcoming to me, and everybody is always willing to get working with me. And it's I think it's only awkward if you make it awkward. So I don't really have a lot of those problems. I'm really blessed here.
Yeah, and again, like this could just be my layman perspective. Like I feel like obviously the fighters and people who are at the center of it would know better, but it seems like that whole idea of like, oh, you can't cross train at that gym. You're from this gym. Like it seems like that is more of like a waning kind of thing, and it's just like, I mean, you have like your base gym, but it's like, oh yeah, why not go off and learn skills from other people? So is that something that you've noticed in your own experience as well, just those kind of like, oh, you stay at this gym, not that gym, like those politics kind of like fading away a little bit, or perhaps not so much?
Okay, so as a professional, I will say this, that like, okay, if I come across you and like I spar you or whatever, or we spar, we train or whatever, we roll, that's not going to change my perspective. Like that doesn't mean I won't fight you in the future. You know what I mean? And like, I think that people are insecure about that or how it's going to affect people. But at the end of the day, it's a business. So like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like if we sparred before, I'll still fight you. If we sparred in the past, like I've been gone to London to train the past couple weeks, and like Jesse Ronson's there, Kyle Prepelek's there, who I fought. Like I honestly don't give a shit. So, and if it's, like I said, it's not awkward for me. So if it's awkward for you, then that's a problem. That's like a your problem, not my problem. And I think that just I'm at a point in my career where like I have a lot of friends in this game, but at the same time I have no friends in this game. So if I sparred with you, if we're former training partners or whatever, I'll still fuck you up. And as far as like from like a martial arts standpoint, it's a pretty big red flag. Like if you're training at a gym and if there's any amateur fighters or aspiring fighters that are listening to this, if you have a coach that doesn't want you to train somewhere else, it's probably a red flag for their own shortcomings. You know what I mean? I think that it should be encouraged, and it's only beneficial to you, your students. If a coach tells you that you shouldn't be training somewhere else, that's probably a bad sign. It's probably because they're worried about being exposed as a shitty coach.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I can understand where you're, coming from saying that there, but just in talking about this next fight here, like, I mean, you talk about like, coaches, like there's some good, some bad. Like I feel like your coaches, like Lyndon and everyone always does like a great job with like the tape study and the game planning. So like they've been presumably watching a lot of Joel dos Santos, I would think. I know you don't generally, dive into the tape study component as heavy as the coaches do, but is there some level of seeing the stylistic proclivities of Joel dos Santos leading into this one?
Yeah, like I mean, with Joel, he's like he's big, powerful guy. He throws heat in his punches. But I feel like it's the same with a lot of my former opponents, is that I can hit him with precision down the middle. I can hit him clean. I'll definitely be able to beat him with kicks for sure. And I feel like I'll be able to out-grapple him. He tends to, initiate grappling exchanges in the upper body, which is going to lead him to clinch with me, which I don't think will be good for him. I think that I have to worry about him being on top, him being on my back. And as long as I can avoid getting hit with power, I should be a clean fight. And I think that I really, it's a good opponent. I know we talked last time about how I was kind of disappointed with not getting, high level opponents with good records and stuff like that. And this guy's been on the block. He's got a good record. And I think that, I can't predict how the fight is going to end, but I want to make it look easy. Like, I want people to look at a guy like Joel, flown in from Brazil, right? He's not a Canadian. He's not an American. They're really having to search for opponents now. Flown in from Brazil. He's got a good record. This is up a weight class. I want people and, say, Scott, that look easy. Like, it wasn't, they're not even on the same level.
Yeah, I love the mentality heading into it. And like the last time we were talking, it was interesting because you were saying, you've seen me fight a ton, Dylan. There's really not a lot of mystery about what I want to do or what my skill set is, but yet you're, consistently able to implement that strategy to great effect. Like, I'm curious, is there like a level of confidence that comes from that sort of dynamic? Like, hey, these are my skills. You guys know what I'm trying to do, but you're, not powerless to stop it, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I've got my game plan. I'm not hiding it. I'm going to impose my will. Does that inspire a certain level of confidence?
Yeah, and I think I have reason to be confident too. And like, you know what? I remember having a conversation with you, and honestly now, like, it shouldn't be different because I haven't fought in 14 months. Like, you shouldn't look at my last fight, which again, experienced opponent, dominant performance. I don't think the expectation shouldn't be that is the same person because I've gotten better. I should be different. I've made improvements, and like, it's going to be tough to look at my past fights and gauge, what you're going to see from me. And I think that's a good thing. Obviously, at this point in my career, I'm not going to be making the same gains that I was 5 years ago. But I mean, it's more about like sort of sharpening the blade, but the blade is the same, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, just like refining the weapon that's already there that much more, if that's a fair way to characterize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's always a fun time watching you fight, man. It's super exciting, and when I saw the announcement, it's like, oh yeah, these guys are going to have a little bit of pressure for a fight of the night here. So yeah, it looks like a stacked card, but in talking about a different kind of card here, I wanted to talk about you getting your own trading card with Last of the Hards, and I saw some of the other ones with like, Bobby Poulter, and I talked to those guys about it, so I was excited to, get your thoughts on all of that. Like, what was it like to see your likeness on a trading card? I imagine it was super cool.
Oh, it was awesome, man, and they were really well done. It was cool because I have a couple young nieces, and I was able to give them for Christmas presents and stuff like that, so hopefully they think that's cool when they're a little bit older and they don't think it's lame. But I mean, it's like, I don't know, I like to have them, they seem to be selling okay, so that's good as well. But it's just it's a memento, and it's like a period of time in my career, and it's really cool to have something physical like that these days.
Yeah, then I was kind of talking to, I believe it was Bobby, about that, just how cool it is to have like a tactile, like physical experience with something. As much as certain, digital elements and stuff like that are cool in their own sort of regard, it's cool to have something you can actually feel, and it's just like a tangible thing.
Yeah, love it. And I was a big like trading card kid growing up as well, so it's nice to have one of my own.
Yeah, and they're super well done for sure. But something else I thought was well done was the NWO inspired merch, which obviously, as we were talking earlier in the conversation, didn't get to break those out quite to the scale that I imagine you would want to. So I imagine those are going to be in abundance at this upcoming fight.
Oh, you better believe it, man. I was so pumped with how those turned out. And I remember, I think I was talking to you too about what I had planned, but I don't think I actually told you what it was.
Yeah, I think you referenced it in the context of like, oh yeah, if you're like a late 90s wrestling fan, you'll get fired up for this.
Yeah. Love it, man. Love it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try to snag a shirt there myself. I was digging seeing the Instagram post with that there. So yeah, that'll be fun to get out there. And I'm sure the reference will, resonate there and stuff like that. Did you ever have like a go-to guy in the NWO, like a favorite as it were, or you kind of just like dug the whole thing altogether?
Oh, obviously I was like a big like Hulk Hogan fan from when I was just like a baby.
Yeah.
Right? But also Kevin Nash. And like as one of my Christmas presents this year, my wife got me a cameo by Kevin Nash.
Oh yeah.
So I got like a personalized video from Kevin.
That's so tight. Like, what was he just like saying happy holidays? Like, what was the general gist of the actual video? That's super cool.
So I think they don't like, he actually, in the video, he referenced like my career and stuff like that. And he actually went back. It was clear that he went back and like looked me up, and he was talking about fights and stuff like that. It was actually really cool. Like, he did a really good job. He went above and beyond. It was great.
Yeah, did you describe some of your highlights as too sweet?
No, he didn't.
Well, I would use that terminology to describe your highlights there, but it's always fun getting to, talk to you, man, but you're a busy guy, which I can appreciate. So in being mindful of the schedule there, is there anything you might want to add as a parting thought as we're wrapping up here, Scott?
No, man, if you're listening to this, like, just, I hope that you can, either be there live in London on March 5th or, get the pay-per-view stream. If you need any more information about me or this fight in particular, follow me on Instagram at Handsome Scott Hudson. That's probably where I'm most active and best place to get to know me.
Yeah, great follow for sure. And this is going to be a great fight on BTC 14 Clash. March 5th is when that's all going down. And yeah, always great getting to talk to you, and cool to get some time ahead of this Joel dos Santos fight, man. So yeah, just you enjoy the rest of your night there, and looking forward to being there and checking out the fight too.
You too, Dylan. Take care, man.